Welcome back to Cited. I am your host, 𝐟𝐸𝐫𝐸, and tonight, oh baby, we are pulling receipts, keeping egos in check and making sure that nobody escapes the truth, honey. From clout-rich but cash-poor influencers faking the high life, to the latest scandal that has Dr. Umar's name trending for all the wrong reasons.
I beg your pardon?
We've got a lot to get into tonight. And listen, I had to call in a specialist for tonight's episode because when it comes to breaking down drama, snatching wigs, and serving nothing but an unfiltered truth, there is only one person who can do it justice, y'all. Y'all already know the name, the voice, and the wig. Because baby, he's been clocking celebrities and reality stars for years. He's a social media legend, a culture critic, and the king of a well-timed child please. Please welcome the one and only Funky Dineva.
Listen, I don't know if it's these diamonds I got around my neck, this liquor, or that intro that you just gave me, but that got me feeling like Princess Diana or some goddamn body. God damn, I didn't know I had it going on like that. Culture critic, icon, legend. Baby, and I'll take all of it, okay?
Yes.
Raw.
Give you your flowers.
Come on, baby, give them to me. I need my flowers. I need my Miracle Grow. I need my fertilizer. I want all my while I'm still young and fine and all that other good stuff. Raw, what's going on?
Do you think I look my age? Honest question.
Well, in order for me to answer that question, I have to pose a question. I don't know what your age is. So in order to answer that, I have to ask you, Miss 𝐼𝐸𝐫𝐸.
I wish I would.
Or Beyonce's whole internet.
I wish I would.
How old are you?
How old do I look?
Okay, well, let's say this, 𝐼𝐸𝐫𝐸. I'm finna do some reverse engineering because you know I used to be an accountant and my undergrad degree is in economics. Now, you was on like the first Love and Hip Hop. In that, you was with the first Yandy. You was with like, you know, wig. You was with helmet head. You was on the first one. And that's Jim Jones and Chrissy, Mona. They on like season 16 with Mama D them, which mean that was like at least 13 years ago you was on that. And you was given like a 28 tease then. So you gotta at least be anywhere between 39 and 47. It's not your physical whatsoever. You're beautiful, you're breathtaking. I'm gonna tell people what always give away their age. It's their maturity and their class level. It's just you just got too much maturity to be a young girl.
Okay.
You're not a city girl. It's just you're not a city girl.
Look at Jay. Hold on now.
You're not a city girl.
Hold on
I mean,
now.
you might vacation in city girl territory on the weekend or when you with your homegirls.
I am the original.
That's what they said that about y'all. That 14 years ago on Love and Hip Hop, they said that. Them 14 years ago.
He ain't lying though. He flaming, but he ain't lying. That's the thing. I think that's why I have such a soft spot for Young Miami. One, because she's an Aquarius. And two, because I feel like she embodies true city girl lifestyle.
Let me tell you something. Being somebody born and raised in Miami,
Yes.
Carol City, I'm glad we're in Miami right now.
Yes.
Those girls, especially we live in a world that tries to shit on city girl culture and try to tell people, oh, you're a city girl, you're not worth anything, you're ghetto, nobody wants you. And those girls came along, they took that damn thing, made it their own, monetized it, and they got everybody wanting to be a city girl. So big ups to Carisha, JT, 𝐿, and Coach, and everybody over there and everything that they built. And I'm gonna tell you something. Those girls and a lot of the other girls on the internet have just taught me it's more than one way to skin a cat.
Absolutely.
We do not live in a world no more with this whole go to college and get a good office job and wear some lame suits from Learners, New York. That don't work no more.
What is the real definition? Can we pull up the textbook definition of city girl? Let's pull up the textbook, please.
I could tell you, but while they pulling it up, it's a that don't want to work, that got enough body and enough game to go out there and not sell. She ain't got to sell, but she could sell the illusion and the fantasy of getting the get whatever it is she want out of life. And I ain't mad with it. That's your question.
Yes.
Do you age out of being a city girl? Like,
I don't. So
is there a certain age?
our description on the show is for me, because we have another podcast that there's 6 of us total.
Okay.
And the
6
description,
old hoes. Just
No,
six,
it's not.
Just six old 6 old hoes that used to be that girl. Now they want to come sit up on a podcast and critique the girls. Go ahead.
No, so it's not.
Who it
6
is?
women.
You, Yandy, Mona, you, Chrissy, Yandy, Mona, Emily B.
You know what? Let me just say something.
Nikki gonna be there about 2 or 3 years. No, I'm just
Listen,
joking.
no. It's actually 3 of us, 3 women, and it's 3 guys. I think they call them red pill. The guys that
those guys,
that
okay.
just, that kind of boast about not spending money on women and their new modern way of like handling the dating scene. And we have really good conversations and all that kind of stuff. However, my description is retired city girl on, the description of who I am. But I'm a businesswoman.
So you know what's so funny? I love forcing people's hands into giving me an opportunity. And I'm forcing your hand. I want to be on that next podcast. I think I have
Okay.
something to offer, and here is why. Being the
Okay.
gay guy and being used to being every black girl's best friend, I think that I have a unique perspective that I could offer that conversation.
Okay.
Granted, I'm a guy, so I get the guy piece, but I get the girl piece too, because I've been
Okay.
every black girl's best friend
You're
since the
booked,
2nd
baby.
grade. So
You've been
let's do that,
booked.
and let's turn that on his head.
Yes, I like
Yeah,
it.
let's do
I
that.
like it. I
Let's
like
do
it.
that.
And the girls and the guys gonna give you a run for your money.
Let's do it. Let's
so
do it.
you're gonna have to do
Let's-
your research on everybody so you
Let's
can be
do
ready.
it. Let's do it. And then at the end of the day, I'm from Carol City, bitch. I can fight. Yeah. So at the end of the day, okay. At the end of the day, I can fight a little bit, enough.
Oh,
I
my
can fight
God,
that door
you-
right there. I can fight enough.
Yeah.
I can bust to make it out that door right there.
And get the up out of
Okay.
here, right? All right. So for those who don't know, you for being the Pied Piper of Petty,
Mm-hmm.
which we already see, let the people know how you came to being funky.
You know what? What's weird is I don't know. I guess Raw. If I had to be honest, I guess I just always was. You know what I'm saying? But there just wasn't a platform or a vehicle for me to express this. Shouts out to my favorite teacher in high school, my mentor, Miss Bridget McKinney, Dr. Bridget McKinney, who's actually the principal now at Miami Carroll City. She plucked me out of obscurity. I was just this young, little, skinny, insecure kid, and she saw something in me and recruited me to be a part of her drama program in high school. And I started participating in the drama stuff. And, I'm the skinny, awkward gay kid. I didn't have an athletic bone in my body. I wasn't the kid that Danielle can tell you, I wasn't the kid that everybody looked at and was like, oh, I want to him, or oh, I want him to be my boyfriend. That just wasn't my ministry. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up finding my place in this life in the drama and theater area, in the area of comedy. I've always been smart. I've always been quick-witted. And anybody who's known me since forever has always been like, that's just Quentin. They're like, y'all know him as Funky, but that's just Quentin. So to answer your question, Ron, I mean, I don't know. I guess I woke up like this.
Right.
I guess that's how it happened.
Speaking of, I woke up like this. You stopped wearing your wigs. And I want to know why, and the people want to know why.
So you know what? I wish I could sit here and just give you some profound Maya Angelou answer, like still I rise. One day my edges left and I decided I'm going to go all natural. It literally, Raw, was just an unconscious, natural progression of things. That's all.
Okay.
When I look back at it in hindsight, I do realize that the wig was my armor, right? Like Funky Dineva is this character. Quentin Latham is the real person. Friends call me Q. When I put that wig on, y'all could say whatever y'all want to say about me, and it just wouldn't bother me at all. I'm like, the joke is on you. You're laughing at a cartoon. You're laughing at it. That's not even a real person. It's almost as if you giving a real-time critique of Medea. That's not a real person, or Shanae or Wanda. So for years, I wore the wig as armor because when I started, I was a corporate accountant. I would have 100% been fired from my good corporate job had I showed up as Quentin Latham here to give you the tea. That shit wasn't going down. But since I had them little raggedy wigs on, people were able to make a separation between that's not the real him, that's just some little shit he doing on the side. And then lo and behold, Raw, the shit took off. Like this was never intended to be a brand or a business. I am an accountant by trade. I just knew that I was going to live and die being a corporate accountant. Yeah, people got to understand, when I started doing this 15 years ago, the word YouTuber did not exist. The phrase social media did not exist. The word influencer did not exist. When people asked me what I did for a living, I used to get so nervous, I would just say, I'm a comedian or I'm an actor. Ain't never stepped foot in no comedy club, and at the time had never did any TV or movie, but it was the closest thing I could say that would make people understand what it is I did. And just, you know, obviously with time, this influencer thing has become a thing and is big, and I'm here now 14 years, 15 years later, or whatever. But that's how it happened, Raw.
That is such an interesting story.
And
it really is.
If I can add one more thing, there was a
Sure.
point after being in the wigs, I realized, okay, this was cute, but I had to look at the Tyler Perry of it all. And Tyler Perry used Medea as a springboard to introduce the world to Tyler Perry, where Tyler can do the real magic. Love and Hip Hop, where I know you from, and where I got my very first TV job, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, that's where I got my starts. And people know me with the wigs, and I did all the specials on VH1 with the wig and stuff on. But something happened one day when I was just like, Q, these people are laughing at you and not with you. And the wig thing is very slapstick, and it's very lowbrow comedy. It's fun and it's jarring and it's shocking, but you've got so much more to offer the world. Like, your voice really needs to be on like CNN platforms and MSNBC, and they're not booking Funky Dineva with that crazy lipstick on and that goddamn dusty ass bob wig.
Okay.
So it was at that point I decided Dineva, the character with the wig, has gotten me as far as she's going to get me.
Okay.
I've been doing this now for years, and I think I have enough confidence to give the world Quentin Antoine Latham. And that's just what I did. And deciding to come up out the wig raw was one of the best things that I could have ever done, because when I did that, my career just multiplied 10 times over. Because let's face it, Funky Dineva in a wig is a hot goddamn mess, right? And that was the appeal of it all. But we still live in a world where a lot of people ain't with that gay shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a lot. And unfortunately, that was a side of me and my personality that I kind of had to put in the back closet in order to propel myself further. So now I get the luxury of pulling her out whenever I want to. So like, you want to book me for a pride, or you want to book me to host a party, and you want me to get into all that regalia, that's an extra $3,000.
Absolutely.
Now I can come give you this right here with these. I can come like this.
Right.
And this is one fee.
Right.
But if you want all of that.
Right. I gotta call glam transportation. I gotta help.
My wigs need a seat. Okay. And I don't ride in the back, and neither do they. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those types of things.
Stylists gotta help you get dressed. It's a lot. It's a production.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now
Yeah.
you have mastered the art truly in longevity, as you just talked about, being around for 15 years. So I want to ask you, why do you think it is? And I know that you don't know that much about me. You guys will be able to watch Dineva get to know me, who I am, right? But why do you think so many reality stars struggle after their shows are over?
If I'm being honest, I think that a lot of reality stars don't have much to offer outside of conflict and shock. And when they're not in a situation where they're in conflict or shock, then there's nothing there. No shade. I don't think that a lot of reality stars are smart. I don't. You know, I mean, the overwhelming majority of reality stars are not Harvard graduates. You know what I'm saying? They're not even community college graduates. They are people who had up ass lives, but very creative personalities that made people be drawn to them. But that lack of intellect and business acumen, it doesn't serve them once said shows are over. Some of our greatest are struggling right now. You know what I'm saying? And I just think reality TV has created a world where people have been rewarded for negative behavior. And what happens, Raw, is when we're done with you cussing people out, or we're done with you throwing bottles, or we're done with you with this same stale ass storyline that you've had on whatever show for 7 years, then there's nothing there.
It's run its course.
It's run its course. And not only did it run its course, but a lot of those reality stars, you honestly need to drop down to your knees and praise God, Allah, or whoever you pray to for giving you an opportunity in your nothingness. Because in the grand scheme of things, a lot of it is nothingness. I'm sorry. Going to college and getting a career is always going to be in vogue. It's always going to be in vogue. I am sorry. Call me an elitist. Call me whatever you want to call me. I'm going to always go up for a girl or a guy that went to college and grind and doing their thing or entrepreneurship than I am a that showed they on a TV show at the right time, at the right place in order to be big.
I think for me, my opinion, which no one asked, it's also important to be able to see the plan through, right? So it's just like anything else. If you can take an opportunity that you're in, even if you don't have the college education, even if you haven't been afforded a particular lifestyle, but to be a hustler and an entrepreneur inside and be able to make the opportunity work. I feel my opinion is that a lot of times people don't realize this is not going to last forever. They kind of get caught up in the excitement, the attention. A lot of our young Black women, unfortunately, and this is not a joke in any capacity, come from broken homes, broken families. They have daddy issues, and the attention feeds them. They love it, and they don't realize like you have a very short window to make this excel into something else. That guy that's willing to invest in what you want right now because he likes that you're popping, don't ask for a Birkin. You need to ask for a down payment. Yeah. You need to ask for the money for your inventory. You need to figure out how to market your online, and you need to turn this into a lucrative business. But that's not what we're hearing. That's a whole nother conversation.
It is, and we got to have that.
We have to have that.
Because that's a deep dive, and we really need, and you would be the best person to facilitate that because you're the best of both worlds. You've done that, and you're doing your business. You're one of the positive outcomes of it all. But I'm gonna tell you what I found out. And people who follow my brand, they always hear me refer to the Atlanta girls, right? Like that's my catch-all term for all the reality. I call everybody the Atlanta girls. I've come to find out, Raw, that people are more interested in fame than they are money.
The fortune.
They are more interested in fame. And I am here to tell y'all something. And I don't know if you echo this sentiment. Fame ain't nothing but a jail cell lined in gold. And the only thing being famous is good for is getting in the club for free.
Right. And even then, sometimes, if you got a different wig on, they might not recognize you,
like,
and you might not even get that.
That's literally the only thing fame is good for is getting you in the club. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't like it. I don't like it. I enjoy being a regular bitch. A lot of my friends would say to my own detriment. You know what I'm saying? Like I could easily, be one of the Instagram that's look at where I'm flying today and look at what I got on today. But that just doesn't feed my soul. It must
be our era.
Maybe.
I think so.
And I think we do come from an era of wanting substance.
Yes.
Like, listen, like diamonds and is cool, designer is cool, but I'm more about like, can we get drunk in here together and cry?
Right.
And you tell me about what you're going through with your man. I'm telling you what I'm going through with mine. And then we dry our eyes and go get something to eat.
Right.
Like that's the I be on. All of this, what I did.
Right. And I think it's definitely because of social media. It's being young and fun and full of cum is always going to be a thing. We are not knocking that at all, okay? Because we all had our time. But it's what you see so much is what's in front of your face. So, we're going to get more into that and what kind of influences the youth in thinking that that's the way to go versus, handling business for real. So tell me this, Dineva.
Here she go. Here she go. Here she go. Let me take a sip. Go ahead. Here she go.
Tell me, in your opinion, which reality star you actually feel played the game right and turned their 15 minutes of fame into a career and then getting a real coin.
Unequivocally, Tiffany New York Pollard.
Really?
Yes. Unequivocally.
Okay.
Unequivocally.
Okay, because that was a real 15 minutes. That wasn't no...
Unequivocally.
Break it down for us.
And a lot of people may not agree with me because she hasn't gotten the notoriety.
That doesn't matter.
𝐬𝐫𝐿 Johnson is next, in my opinion. And here is why.
Okay.
Both of those ladies have been able to make an almost 2-decade career out of being reality TV stars. Most people do one show. They may do a long stint on one show, and then they may go do another has-been show like Marriage Boot Camp or Celebrity Therapy or whatever it is. But Tiffany New York Pollard, no matter where reality TV has gone, she's figured out a way to be a part of every conversation in reality TV. I think that 𝐬 is another. She went from Flavor of Love and she's still on reality TV. Who do I think fumbled the ball a little bit? I think Nene Leakes, for whatever reason. And I don't know if it's her fault, her team's fault. I don't know if it's blackballing from the industry. And this is not a dig. This is actually a compliment. I still feel like Nene Leakes has not gotten all her things. There are just more things out there that Nene Leakes was supposed to get. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs. I know Nene professionally and casually. From the outside looking in, I would say she did get a little big for her britches, and the industry said, oh, little black girl, we gonna humble your black ass. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what she's been going through these last couple of years. But Tiffany New York Pollard, 𝐬, and Nene Leakes are definitely the girls that are in that conversation.
Okay.
They're in that conversation.
Okay. You hit that. You hit that. I'm going to give it to you.
I'm trying to think who else. Who would you think is part of that conversation? Let's start from the show you was on. I mean,
let's get into the show I was on. Let's get into that. All right. So I was a friend of a cast member, right? And
who were you a friend of again?
I was a friend of 𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐻.
𝐻𝐻𝐻, okay, that's right. Okay.
Yes.
Are y'all still friends today?
No, I haven't seen her in 100 years.
Y'all fell out?
No, we didn't fall out.
Yeah, just kind of we just did their own thing. Okay.
Yeah, we just really.
Just life.
Yeah.
Just life took us different directions.
Yes, absolutely. No issues with 𝐼𝐻𝐻 at all.
Okay.
The reason I was even considered is because I was already a businesswoman in real life. Mm-hmm. Before that.
Understood.
So I owned a shoe store on 7th Avenue in New York. It was called Bourgeoisie. And I carried all the European designers that we shop at Saks that I personally went to Italy and opened those valid accounts with. And I didn't buy the shoe.
Valid. So she read the City Girls.
No, I did not.
No.
Don't do that. You know I love them.
No, not 𝐿 and 𝐵𝐻𝐻𝐿. Y'all other City Girls.
Oh, yeah.
They're scamming. See, I listened to what a bitch said. She said valid to separate herself from the invalid girl.
The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of times black people cannot get approved to carry the European designers in our boutiques.
Gotcha.
So they'll see your name, they'll see what you don't have any experience of having a boutique, and they'll deny you. So I physically went to Italy and shook their hands and carried Giuseppe Zanotti and carried Christian Louboutin, carried 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭, carried 𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐿 authentically, the account with my tax ID number, and placed my orders 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. I really did this. This is in 2007.
Okay.
And at the time, I was 23 years old.
Congrats.
Absolutely.
That's big.
So I'm doing the Wendy Williams show. I'm doing all the press, all the things at that time before social media that was, oh my God, you're actually doing this, from having a publicist. At that time, having a publicist was the end all be all, okay?
There was no social media. That's how you got in.
Yes. Yeah, you had to make sure your publicist got her check.
Yeah.
Okay?
Shouts out to Michelle B. Whitehead, honey, 'cause she hits me on the 21st every month for that goddamn invoice.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was a time, you know. So I was her friend because they needed to find a way to kind of like incorporate me in the storyline.
Gotcha.
Because I had a personality and some notoriety.
Gotcha.
So,
and I'm not saying this as shade.
Yeah.
Your profile for them wasn't strong enough to bring you on as a main cast?
No.
Okay.
Because I wasn't willing to
share everything.
Do what some people have to do during survival mode.
Understood.
It's a very big difference, right?
She say she been selling I stopped doing that when I was 23, child. Y'all on here Joe Budden, y'all on here letting Jim Jones treat you any type of damn way. You letting Mendices run up your blood pressure and all that. Mama said, I ain't got to do that. I'm not punani peddling. I'm peddling shoes. Go ahead.
I don't know if you remember, and I hate that we bringing this up because I know this is going to go. Yandy called me Al Bundy on one of the episodes.
She said, what now?
I need another drink,
Girl,
please. Please, somebody pour me a drink.
Not Miss I DM'd the girl from his phone.
Oh, my God.
And not a son on the TV talking about it wasn't her, but this ain't about that. Go ahead.
Yes. So, back then, I did not, because I was just not willing to share that way, but I did have, things going on in business heavily at that time. And so making those couple appearances and then coming on another season as a friend again, but now as a friend of Remy's, Remy Ma at the time. When people identify me as that, it just shows the power of television.
Most definitely.
Because it's so far from what my actual resume is, And I'm not that girl that's online, showing a bunch of stuff, doing that. And that's why I said I think it's really more so an era thing.
It is.
I and there's nothing wrong with it. We had our shit that we was doing, Black Planet and all that
College Club and yes, all of that.
We had our shit that we were doing. And thank you. I'm gonna take a sip.
Oh, take it.
I think I'm good. Okay. So the funny thing is that we see them on yachts, we see them in designer. But most influencers are struggling behind the scenes. And, you gave me your take on it. But I feel like it's also a lack of financial responsibility, being educated. Because those checks that you get, if you don't know and you haven't been in a situation for somebody to show you to take this $5,000 that you're getting per episode, or take this $20,000 that you're getting per episode and make this something that you can have continue to generate an income, you think you're rich because you've never seen.
Because you never had it.
Exactly. Exactly. So moving along. Now, Funky, we couldn't sit here and sip tea without bringing up the latest scandal that's shaking up the conscious community. Dr. Umar Johnson, the self-proclaimed prince of Pan-Africanism, is out here trending for all the wrong reasons. A young woman just popped up claiming to be his estranged daughter, saying that he's been an absentee father, and the internet is eating this up. Meanwhile, Dr. Umar is denying everything. He's calling it a smear campaign and telling folks to pick a side. Pick a side, pick a side. Now, Funky, you tell me, should we be believing the good doctor? Or is this another case of do as I say and not as I do?
It's 100% a case of do as I say and not as I do. I make no qualms about it. I don't with Dr. Umar. I don't like at all. I don't like the at all.
So you want to look into the camera as you say it? So they know that you mean it?
I don't like the at all. I don't with Dr. Umar. And I'm going to tell you what's better. I've actually incorporated Dr. Umar in my brand, right? Because I do this thing where I always like call out people who follow me but don't like me, right? And I'm like, that's mental illness. And then I always say, I'm going to give y'all a prime example. I don't with Dr. Umar, so I don't follow him. Any interviews I see that he's on, I hit ignore on the thing because I don't want him popping up in my feed.
And they'll see that you're interacting with this. So
and I'm going to be very honest with you. It's 100% because of his views of the LGBTQ plus community. That's why I don't with Dr. Umar. Not to mention, I picked up on the fraudulent energy a long time ago. Now, my mama taught me never tear nobody down without extending a hand to lift them up. I'm going to give you this. Dr. Umar is very educated, and I'm not going to lie to you. Despite the fact that I don't with him, I still from time to time listen to some of what he's got going on because a broken clock is right 2 times a day. But here's the thing. Dr. Umar, in my opinion, has built a large part of his platform on advocating for the Black family, the Black family, Black men not dating interracially, and the greatest thing you can do for the Black community is marry a Black queen and procreate. And I agree with all of that. But Dr. Umar, in my opinion, and who am I, has positioned himself as like the go-to person of who we need to go to instruct us on how to be black and how to be a good black person and have a good black family. And then when you have this young lady come out and she's 22 years old and she's like, the man that's talking about black men need to marry black women and that's the best thing you can ever do and fortify the family and all this stuff. And then you got this 22-year-old girl out here talking about she has no relationship with her daddy. It has completely invalidated any and everything that you have tried to teach. Not to mention, you still ain't told us what the you did with them people money. We are still waiting on the Frederick the School of Greatness or whatever the it was supposed to be called. And I'm here to tell you, Dr. Umar, and I don't give a good goddamn how you or anybody with you affiliated with you feel about the situation. In today's urban times, in today's online times, if you couldn't give us a brick and mortar school, where the is the online school, okay? ICDC college. Where is it at?
But let me ask you this, because this is important. This is important not just as it pertains to Dr. Umar, but also as it pertains to a lot of the Me Too situations that happen. What makes you believe, I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm not. I have no idea what's going on, and I don't want my words to be misconstrued. Why do you believe what she's saying? What about it makes it true for you?
Because Dr. Umar is not goddamn Michael Jordan. There is no benefit to anybody getting on social media right now and saying Dr. Umar is my daddy. That ain't getting you in the live tonight.
But it will get you viral.
What viral could do?
These young people these days. And now, I'm not saying, again, I want to reiterate, because what happens is if they find out, they do a DNA test and find out this is his child, they're going to say, Ross said that the girl was lying. Don't do me that way. What I'm saying is there is so much dishonesty, especially with that age group.
Has he come out and denied that she was his child? Because from what I have seen is that he was saying that the baby mamas are the reason that he was not active in the girl's life. So
production? Can we get an update on that?
So just give me some clarity now, because here's the thing. If this young lady is not his child, then off with her head. You know what I'm saying? Off with her head, and you're a horrible person.
That happens.
But if that is his child, then he's got a lot of explaining to do.
Right. I just feel like so often people say things because they want the attention. And they want to go viral. Yeah. And that's exactly what's happening at this current moment. So if that is his daughter, then okay, we can talk about that. Then you dead on. Right. But if it's not, and then there's no consequences, which is also a whole nother episode that we need to have. Let's talk about people playing with the Carters, and y'all know. Yes. Let's talk. We're gonna talk about that another one.
The fat girl in the lift. You know what I'm saying? The big girl. She know her big ass. Dang Moss. Girl, don't come sit on me. You knew your big ass like girl. And we see you on everything now, talking about everything except lift. Okay, I thought girl, what was said now, Rob? What would you?
She said they wouldn't allow her to get in the vehicle.
Right, but my thing is, I thought all this was supposed to be about lift. Now she trying to rap. Now she walking with big sexy. Like, girl, you wasn't distraught from that damn lift. Exactly. You let me tell it, to your point, you called that small lift for that moment. You knew your big ass couldn't get in that damn lift.
I want to know what advice you would give Dr. Umar for handling this particular situation. Like, what would you tell him to do if you with him?
Even if I don't fuck with him, as a black man, and then here's the difference between a lot of people, because a lot of black men won't fuck with me because I'm gay. But that aside, unsolicited advice, go hug your daughter, okay? I'm gonna be very honest with you. My father's been in my life all my life, excellent provider, right? But my father was one of those people, dirt poor, grew up in the South. He ain't had time for no love, right? He ain't had time for that. His mentality was, you got something to eat? Right. I love you.
Right.
Okay?
You got roof over your head.
Exactly. I love you.
You got shoes on your feet.
Because you got more than what I had.
You got a coat on.
So with that being said, I definitely understand the perspective of people who are searching for daddy love. Okay? And a lot of people like to brand me as, oh, he don't like black women and he have mommy issues. And I'm here to tell y'all actually got it 100% wrong. Unequivocally, I have the Powerball amount of daddy issues. I got daddy issues down to the ground. Down to the ground, I have daddy issues. I almost think it's better to deal with a daddy that's not there. You could process that. My daddy just was not there. Than to have a daddy in your face that's not there. So with that being said, my biggest advice to him would be go hug your daughter, because that's all I wanted. Go hug your daughter and tell her, I might not have been there in the past, and make no excuses about it. It's not about her mama. It's not about your mama was difficult. It's not about, oh, I didn't have no money. Simply go hug your daughter and say, I was sorry.
Are you a Black American or are you a Caribbean?
I'm Black American, 100% American. No Caribbean blood at all. I get that question a lot. My dad's family's from Mississippi, Grenada, Mississippi. My mom's family is from Bainbridge, Georgia. But that's would be my advice. Go hug your daughter. That's all she wants.
In your opinion, completely off the topic, what do you feel is the reason behind your dad not being there the way you needed him to be?
Because he didn't have one.
Because he didn't know any better.
And
he didn't know any better, right?
I'm going to be very honest and transparent. My grandmother was a drunk. My grandmother, and God knows whatever she dealt with in rural, poverty-ridden Mississippi. From my understanding, my father's been taking care of my grandmother ever since he was a teenager. Okay. She had alcohol problems or whatever. Men used to come in and out and beat on her and all these types of things. And so for him, he didn't have that. So you can't be what you did not have. My father was a great provider, great job, great baby. We didn't want for shit. And that's one thing unequivocally I can say, baby, we ain't never want for nothing. I don't know what it feel like to be like, oh, I'm hungry and the can't feed me. I don't know that struggle because that was not my struggle. But I do understand the struggle of the kid that didn't get a hug from their dad. I understand that very much. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I look at a lot of my friends that grew up more poor than me, but had a lot of love in their household, and I envy them. I actually, if God came down right now and said, we'll take away some of the luxury and some of the money in exchange for more love, I'd be like, take it all. Speaking as a non-parent and as a gay Black man with no kids, okay? So my opinion may not be valid in this space, but I would like to think, Raw, if you was my baby mama, for whatever reason, you might have been a one-night stand, okay? There's just nothing you would have been able to do to keep me from my goddamn child. It just wasn't. There would have been no amount of your mama was tripping, your mama was a bitch, your mama was this, that, and the third. I would have went to your cousin. I would have went to your mama. I would have went to your sister. I would have moved next door to you. If you lived on 79th Street, I was living on 71st. Okay? I just would have. I would have been showing up to the school. I would have done all of that. As a gay man, there is nothing. And listen, Black men, and not even Black men, men as a whole, they like to position masculinity as being above femininity, and Black men want to lead every damn thing. Well, if you the strongest in the goddamn jungle and you the goddamn leader, lead yourself to your damn child.
And another thing about that, though, is that a lot of times Black men like to avoid conflict, and I'm not making excuses. They don't like the confrontation. They don't like getting into it. If you notice, a lot of times they just like, oh my God, the nagging, I just need my peace. Yeah. And we are very strong as Black women. So when we get turned up and we like, no, you ain't seeing your kid, it takes a special kind of driven
to still push through. Yeah.
Because we gonna come with it when we mad. Don't have hurt us or did something to us. So definitely not taking up for him in any capacity, but I know we ain't no hoe when it comes to us, and when we get mad and we angry and we feel like we have some power to take something from you that you want, we will do it.
But I'm gonna tell you something, that's why I love, though, what he did. Now, here's the thing. I do think that you should not put no caveat on you having a conversation with your daughter that's hurting. But to his point, and as people in media, if you gonna drag me in the media, we finna do this. So yeah, get your mammy up here. Because she need to explain to you
why
when you was 6 years old, when I tried to get you, why I couldn't come get you. Because it's not all on me.
Right.
However, I do think that for me, if you had my child, Rod, there might be days I call you out and cuss you out on your phone. I might call your mama house and cuss your mama out. I might show up to the school and show out. But my daughter is not going to get to 22 years old of age and at least not know my daddy might not have been dysfunctional and crazy, but my memories of him is him being at the school fighting for me.
Right.
That's going to be my child's memory.
Point proven.
My daddy was ignorant as fuck,
Yes.
And he was crazy. And every time he came to the school, he got arrested. But my daddy
He
fought
was
for
fighting for me.
That's going to be my child's recollection.
You've got a point. You've got an excellent point. All right, now we're gonna get into something a little bit more serious, just for a little while, because we got to go back to the play. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this, y'all. We've seen protests shake this country for over, I would say, the past couple of years, right? With George Floyd, with Breonna Taylor, from voting rights to racial injustice. But now it seems to be very quiet, a little too quiet. Trump is back in office. There's been dismantling diversity initiatives, all while rolling back DEI policies, and yet it doesn't seem to be very much outrage in action. So I'm wondering, are we exhausted? Have we given up? Are we just resisting in ways that don't look like the protest of the past that we used to do? You know, if you had to describe Black America's response to Trump in one word, what would it be? And tell me why.
So I can't do it in one word. I can do it in one phrase, and it's the James Cleveland song, "I Don't Fear No Ways Tired." I just think as Black people, we don't fear no ways tired. This is where we are right now politically in the country. This isn't a Black people issue. It just isn't. Here's the thing, Raw. If I'm being perfectly honest, and I come from my mom's side of the family was lower middle class, like broke. It was nothing for me to come home and the lights not be on or the phone don't be on. And my mom would be like, go to your grandma's house. And my father and my stepmom, they were a little more pulled up, a little more Claire Huxtable. So I've got the best of both worlds. But I think for most Black people, we are used to being in a space where the scales are not tilted in our favors and we scratching and surviving to get by. Most Black people in this situation, we don't fear no ways tired because nothing has changed for us. My rent amount is the same amount. My paycheck is my same paycheck. And here's the thing, white people being racist towards Black people is not nothing new. That's some we've been dealing with since the beginning of time. Donald Trump is not hurting us. It's not. Black people, we know how to navigate poverty, adversity, lack, scarcity. It's unfortunate. We know how to navigate those spaces very well. Big Mama know how to take her down to the Piggly Wiggly with $12 and get a $9 pack of ground beef, a $2 bottle of ragu, and a $3 worth of noodles and make a pot of spaghetti for the goddamn week. We know how to get by. So the reason I think so many of us are quiet is because we're exhausted and it's business as usual for us. White people being white people is not nothing new for us. Now I think these Hispanics, and I'm saying Hispanic because it's funny. I think these Hispanics, I think these Afro-Latinos, I think these white adjacent people of other descent, I think they're the ones having issues. Black people, we cool. How has our lives changed? Like, if I'm being perfectly honest, and this may sound ignorant to a lot of people, Black Americans, our lives really don't change much.
No matter what.
From president to president. We've always been looked down upon. We've always been discriminated against. Even now, DEI in white people's society has been synonymous with Black people, but we are not the ones that benefit from DEI. The studies have shown white women are the ones who've benefited the most from DEI, cutting us out of jobs, cutting us out of opportunities, redlining us, not giving us loans. This is not anything that's new to us. Struggle's not new to us.
I mean,
so here's the thing, Ron. I'm not worried about us. And here's the gag. Even though you've got other minorities that don't see it for us, I still find it in my heart to have compassion for them because we know how to do this. It's y'all that it's y'all. We know how to survive, Ron.
Right.
There, believe it or not, the Latino community, all of those people now, they're looking to us right now for how to get through this.
Well, you know, it's funny that you say that because I've actually asked a number of Hispanic people, because I have a lot of Hispanic friends, and I've asked questions like, you know, why did you vote for Donald Trump. Can you just explain to me? And in all honesty, after I finish my surveying
You
and
still don't
asking,
have my understanding.
there's no real answer.
So here's the answer.
Wait, before you continue, because I don't want to forget, because y'all know I'm an old.
Oh, first season Love and Hip Hop. 14 years ago. Yandy with the bad wig.
Stick. That gonna stick, and that's what people gonna be saying.
Right, with the whole interview. Funky Dineva with the way around there talking about Yandy.
Right, you know it. My thing is that I have a woman. I don't even. You know what she does doesn't even matter.
Right.
I asked her. I said, "Who are you voting for?" And she said, "Trump." And I said, "Can I ask you why? This is not for me to judge. I'm not judging anything. I just want to understand what resonates." And she said, "For me, his belief in God. He truly believes in God, and that is what matters to me the most. Everything else is just about politics and procedures and blah, blah, blah. But your heart is where God is, and that's what I believe. He even has Bibles."
And she's full of shit.
Oh!
Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you, and I'm going to be perfectly clear and transparent. Let me sit up and be pulled up with this. There are no more the most godly people on the planet are African American people, okay? 400 years of slavery, and the only thing we had to hold on to was goddamn the word, okay? Which, if I'm being perfectly honest, failed us, okay? Because for 400 years, white Jesus didn't come down and do a thing, all right? It gets no more godly on this soil than African American people. It gets no more godly. It doesn't. So if you sided with God, you would side with righteousness. I'm going to help her cut to the chase. The reality of the situation is black skin globally has a stain on it because of colonialism. The British came around, colonized everything, made anybody who was not white savages, and globally did a very good marketing job on saying, you want to be everything in the world except black. Okay? Now, I'm going to be very honest with you because I love extending grace to people. Ra, if you are a foreigner, you don't know anything about this land. The only thing our global PR machine teaches about America is when you come to America, you want to align yourself with white people because black people are at the bottom, okay? And listen, I'm not even knocking the minorities because they're not getting all the information. But if that's what you're being fed, then quite naturally, when I come over here from whatever, I want to align myself with the best people, the privileged people, which are white. So what ends up happening from my perspective is a lot of minorities or people of different races, they come to America and they know one thing. Whatever I do,
white is right.
I don't want to be with the blacks. Even to the point where they vote against their own best interests.
Just because of the color of our skin.
But here is the beautiful thing. Because
what's beautiful?
I live...
What's beautiful, Dineva? Because I'm hurt.
Here's the thing. I live by the mantra that no matter what any of us, black, white, purple, or green, go through, it's for the greater good. Okay, I do believe that.
That ain't good enough.
I believe it's for the greater good.
That ain't good enough.
Here's what I
me.
mean by that,
Tell me
Ron.
that.
Here's what I
Explain
mean.
it.
I think that Trump is creating a great awakening amongst people because you've got people who are brown who need to realize that, baby, to them white people, if you speak Spanish, you a dirty Mexican. They don't give a damn if you from Spain,
This is
if
the
you
point
from
that
Chile,
Owen was making
if
when
you
he says,
from Venezuela, you speak Spanish, you're a dirty Mexican.
So Owen's point is what we were talking about at dinner, which is he felt like, he says Donald Trump is a necessary evil, right? This is what he says. He says he feels like it's important because we're used to, black people don't got nothing coming to us. This is his words. We got nothing coming to us one way or the other. right? And he feels like it's important to have Trump in office so that everyone who thinks they're better than us can see that he sees us all the same. And that's what he was struggling to say. Now, believe it or not, I don't like that either. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. But I don't like it either. What I don't like about it is the racial wars that it's creating, right? I feel like we were on our way, right? To stopping that and for it to not be acceptable. Where someone who might be racist might be a little ashamed.
Or think twice.
Think twice. Maybe that's not the right thing to do or say. But I feel like it creates a situation where they feel like it's all right for me to think that. I don't know if you guys saw the video the other day of the woman who spit on a black woman who was sitting next to her at a graduation because she sat next to her. And I just don't feel like that's something that would have happened previously. But I think it's important. I want to send a public service announcement, and I'm not igniting any type of race wars or any type of riots or any of that kind of stuff. But you have got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. If a spit on me.
Everything I got, I'm losing it. There is not an amount of restraint in the world.
On me because I'm sitting next to you.
And I'm going to be very honest with you. And I'm going to do my 18 years in prison proud. I'm going to do my 18 years.
You have to.
I'm going to do my 15 years for busting your ass upside the head with a bottle. I'm going to do it like Remy Ma with a smile. The brat. I'm going to be in it. Like,
it's no way. It's no way. And then you think about it, you like, I have so much to lose. I have children to raise. There is no way. We stopped fighting. People have gotten so comfortable with us. I'll tell you a story. I told this story on the contrary. One day I was driving and I'm coming out of the parking lot and this man is riding by his bike. He hawk spit on my car.
Wow.
Another story. I'm walking by and excuse me, walking. He's like, this ain't the hood. And I'm like, this all happened here. Now, y'all know I love me some Miami. This ain't happening in New York.
And let me ask you, and they were of Latin descent?
Yes.
Girl, you don't even want me to get into the Miami Latin versus black. That's a whole nother show, but go ahead.
Yes, both instances, they were
of Latin descent. Yeah. And again, I'm not even excusing their behavior, but they come over here and they buy into the illusion that black is less than. Even the ones that look like us. You know what? Ooh, baby, let's talk about it. Dominican people aren't really with y'all.
Why?
I know black.
That's the ignorance.
Ooh,
but
girl.
let's save that because we're gonna do more parts of this. We're gonna do a whole episode. We break it down.
Baby, I know black.
And we're gonna I have one of my closest friends in the world is from Santo Domingo, from Dominican Republic, and she knows she's black. She said my hair, and she's a very, very, very fair skin.
Pubic hair be nappier than a
talking about
black. I know black.
But there are a lot of Afro-Latinas that don't feel that way. That's a whole nother episode. We have so much more coming for y'all. All right, so look, we're gonna move on because there's so much to get into. All right, so in 2020, black voters were seen as the backbone of the Democratic Party. That's just what it was. We are Democrats, right? But now that Trump's support is growing in the communities, at least with the black men, because I'm a part of that 92%. What's happening? Do you think this shift is about the policies or is it more about the frustration with the Democratic Party as a whole?
So it has nothing to do with the Democratic Party. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Democratic Party, in my opinion, and everything to do with, I hate to say this, but I am of the belief not every single black man, but the black man collective, they don't want equality. They want privilege. And this is going to go viral within the black community. And I say this with my whole chest. I think the worst thing the black community could ever do is let a straight black man through the door first. I think if you let a straight black man through the door first, he gonna close it for everybody behind him.
What?
He gonna close it for women, and he gonna close it for the gays.
You talking about President Barack Obama?
No. I'm not talking about Barack. I'm just talking about the black male collective as a whole. And when you start talking about them and the growing support for Trump, It's because they want the privilege of white men. They want to be white men. So many of them want to be white men. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I am a black man, but I'm a gay black man. I am fearful. Look at the Dr. Umar types. You let somebody like Dr. Umar through the door first, it's getting closed for the LGBT and it's getting closed for women. It's getting closed.
But it's getting closed for the LGBT and the women right now.
Anyway, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like at the end of the day, there's one thing that rules all, and that's
cash.
green.
Yeah, cash.
You can buy your way into. I feel like this is the crazy thing. I think when it comes to politics, it is more about classism than it is about race.
You're right, because a racist white person will with you if you got money,
baby. Because when I tell you, when I move around.
It's different. You have a different experience.
When I have my moo-moo.
It's a different experience.
And there's nothing sparkling. And I thought I was going to be able to grab a turkey and cheese real fast. I'm not, it ain't a great experience.
Yeah.
But when I come out.
When I step out.
It's respect.
Yeah.
So that's a thing as well. That's a whole thing.
It is.
We want to listen because Dineva and I are going to get into so many topics. We have so much. I want to talk about the music.
I didn't think you were this deep. Full transparency, no shade. I thought you wanted the city girls off of Love and Hip Hop, and it's so funny because in my mind right now, I'm like, with me getting ready to move back to Miami.
Now you want to be my friend.
I want to be your friend, but. Outside of that, I think that who you and I are personality-wise and how we can talk with the best of them and the lowest of them, I think there's something here with you and I in social issues and just the real.
Y'all heard it here first.
We're going to figure it the out.
Y'all heard it here first.
We're going to figure it out.
This is on-site studio.
On-site. And listen, it could be an offshoot of on-site.
Whatever.
It's enough money for everybody there.
Whatever. We have a studio, so we need to shoot all night long for y'all. That's what we'll do.
But
whatever
it's
y'all
some
need.
Conversation that need to be had.
Okay.
And
I agree.
And what I like about it is that, and one of the biggest things that people love about me is that I don't come at you like the CNN pundits. A lot of people, people like us from the hood or they can't receive that. But people that's just down home like you
just
and I,
having a conversation.
just talking, people can receive that.
Just having a conversation.
And I think because you own a studio, because you're a media personality and I'm a media personality, I think we owe it to our community to break down some of these high level conversations in a way that our people can digest.
Okay.
And so y'all heard it here first. Me and Ra, we gonna do, I don't know what it looked like, if it's a 3-episode series, if it's a 6-episode series, if it's a 10-year partnership where we come and do 1 or 2 episodes a week, we gonna work this out.
I love it. It's magical and it's real.
And we gonna go get Yandy. Yeah. We gonna go get Mona. Mona put me on TV for the very first time. Now, she ain't paid me and ain't paid me. How much Mona was paying you, girl? Let's get some viral moments.
Okay,
so let's do this.
Yes.
What was your first rate?
My first rate was